Good afternoon, beautiful souls. Welcome to this channel. And in today's video, I would like to pay attention to some of the topics that I've received many questions about from you guys. And so I thought that what a better way for me to share my point of view with you than do a video on these. So I am going to be diving right into the questions that I've received from you. And hopefully this will resonate with you. If it does, please let me know in the comments below. And if this raises up something for you guys, fantastic. You know, if you can go into it and feel it and kind of get to know it a little bit more, where it comes from, what is it here to do, why is it here, why is it coming for you, is that your true or is it not, is it someone else's belief, is it old pattern that is coming up for you, then stay with it. And if something comes up for you that, or I speak about something that is not resonating with you, then let that go. Take a deep breath, release it as you exhale, and let that go, because that is not for you, that is for someone else that is listening to this video. So always pay attention to how you are feeling, what is coming up for you, and know that it is okay for you not to agree with everything. This is a platform in which we discuss things. We talk about experiences. I will talk about my experience and my point of view, and that might be different, and it'll be actually good, in fact, if it is different to your belief, because then we start a discussion and we can start engaging with each other on what resonates, what doesn't, what is good for you, what is true for you, that is different to me. You give me a different point of view. You teach me through that engagement as well. And that is what this channel is all about, is us learning together, sharing with each other, okay, holding space for each other. So let's go into this. So I've had quite a lot of clients and a lot of you guys, my followers, whatever you want to call yourself. I've had quite a few of you asking me recently about this craziness that we've been feeling energetically in this world, and why is it here, what is happening, why is it so intense, and that every year we kind of feel like the beginning of the year we get so excited that it's going to be easier, and you know, the year is going to be just better, and then it feels more deeper, it feels more energetically intense, and people have been asking me why that is. So I'm going to start with that and then see how we progress into the other questions that you guys have been sending. If you do have questions as I'm talking, guys, please send your questions in the comments below. I will do all my best to respond to your questions, and if there is some topic that you would like me to maybe address in my next video, then please put that in the comments below as well. If you do not want to share publicly, you can send me a DM. I am very happy to follow you guys as well in terms of what you would like me to talk about. Okay. So with regards to what has been happening energetically and why it feels so intense recently, okay, and by recently I mean a few months now. So remember, the planet as itself and the human race have been going through awakening for quite some time now. And this awakening has been extremely slow. Okay, so we as humans have really not been putting much attention to our awakening, to where we're going, our thoughts, our actions, you know, what we are putting out there energetically, our emotions. And so the planet is ready, but we as human race are not really ready yet. We haven't been asking the big, deep, important questions. And so you might know, you might have noticed that in the recent years, there's been a lot more what we call natural disasters in the world. And what I mean by that is tsunamis, floodings, extreme heat, fires, you know, really destroying fires, lots of land, lots of houses burned down. There's been wars, there's been epidemics, pandemics, you know, and it's kind of feeling like it's an accumulation over the last, perhaps I would say a decade, maybe a little bit more than that. And what I'm reading energetically, okay, and how I'm seeing this is that the shift that has been happening on the planetary level, which then means that if the planet is awakening, we have to awaken as well. And it cannot happen one is asleep and one is awakened. It doesn't work like that, because we are on this project together, a project called Earth. We are on here together, okay? And so the planet has kind of been aiding us into the awakening. Very often, awakening only happens and starts to happen with profound pain, with profound uh, um, disaster, with profound tragedy that we go through. Okay. And that pain that we can no longer manage, we can no longer exist with this pain. We start asking questions. We start going into the depths of, why is this happening? What is the purpose of it? Why am I finding myself in this midst of really heavy and hectic emotions? And how do I get out of there? And through this process of asking questions, we start receiving answers. They might not always be good, or if I say good, they might not always feel aligned with you. You might not always like the answers that are coming for you, but they are coming nevertheless, because those are the answers, right? And we can never choose the answers that we want for our questions. The questions have certain answers, and that's it. But what I find is that when we go through these big changes in our lives that are forcing us to feel like something is missing, like I always feel that awakening happens with this profound feeling of something is missing. I'm not complete. This that I'm experiencing here is not it. There is something beyond what I'm seeing. And that's when we start tuning in. Yeah. And this is a process that is really important for us to find someone that can help us through this process. This is I would say, the beginning stages of the awakening, where we have so many questions and things feel super overwhelming. And I feel that this is the time when we really need someone that can provide us with guidance. And I'm not going to use the word shaman. I'm not going to use the word guru. I'm not going to use the word healer or teacher. Because I feel that this is not about teaching. This is about sharing my own experience with my own awakening. And you take from that what resonates with you and you apply it to yourself in your situation. And what doesn't resonate, you let go of. And so this is not a forceful process. This is not where you come to a classroom and you sit down and then you have 3 days course and they explain everything to you and they give you everything in bullet points. This is what you need to do. These are the practices that you need to follow. And that's it. That's going to make it all better. Okay. That is not what happens, guys. In my experience, and again, this is my point of view, but let me know how you feel. Let me know what I'm saying is triggering for you. This needs to happen through someone just simply sharing their experiences with you. And I feel that there is, at the moment, I've got a very split relationship with esoteric, anything esoteric pretty much, anything spiritual, anything mindfulness, meditations. I'm very kind of torn in half, because I can see the great potential of that and the purity behind it. But I'm also so aware of the fact that lately it's been so misused to generate income for people, certain people. And I feel that it's been kind of through the social media. I don't really get so involved in social media. My reels are full of beautiful little puppies and kittens and babies playing with the puppies and kittens. And that's pretty much what I'm watching on social media. But every now and then, as I'm scrolling and looking for the reels, I get to see certain things. And there's been such an increase in, if you want to succeed in life, you need to know how to communicate. So sign up for this communication course. And if you want to know how to manifest, you must join my manifestation course. And if you want to be a Reiki master, which you cannot learn, you need to go on this course, and then you need to do extra hours, and you need to learn exactly the way that you need to do it. And then you need to be initiated on top of that. And only after I initiate you, then you are ready to be healing other people. And if you want to find true mindfulness, you need to join my meditation course. And if you want to be successful in your work, then you need to know how to talk to your boss. And even me saying that, I'm feeling so much of crazy emotions and these like feelings, because everything is so consumer focused. I don't know if that's the right word, but the consumer is coming in there, where everything that is coming up on social media at the moment is pointing out to the fact that you are not enough. You are not good enough. You do not have the information. You do not have the knowledge. You do not know how. You need me, and that's whomever is doing these programs. You need me to teach you what I believe you already have. We all do. We all are born with this connection to the divine, to the source, to God. Call it whatever you want to for you. We all have the knowledge on how to access the divine realm and grasp information from there, get healing energy from there and channel it. We all have that in. But sometimes we are not meant to use it. And sometimes it's not in this lifetime that you need to know how to be a healer, or how to, be the greatest boss ever, or how to really master meditations. And so being mindful of what the social media is kind of trying to get you stuck into, which is very much me on my own as I am. I'm not good enough, and I'm not capable of doing things. I need an external person or external course or some program that will teach me how to do that, how to be good enough. And that is very much part of the ego game that we're having here at the moment on earth. Okay. And so for me, I feel that as much as we are trying from a spiritual point of view, and as much as the awakening is kind of forcing us to release the ego, there is also so much opportunity for this ego to grow and become something even grander than it was before. And I feel that spirituality at the moment and this whole awakening concept is feeding that ego very much. So just something that is coming from me is being mindful. Okay, connect from here. Your gut will know. I'm pointing to my gut at the bottom. But your gut will know. Your intuition will tell you. You will know how you feel the moment you meet that person, the moment you see the person. You will know how you feel. And if something is not resonating for you, please don't follow it, because then it's not meant for you. Okay, it's not coming from an authenticity. There is a lot of I want to use the word fake, and then I'm being stopped, because I feel that some of it might not necessarily be fake, but it's like, I feel that some people have not really understood yet. And so they are using the limiting knowledge that they have, and that's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. But just make sure that in your early stages of awakening, when you are full of questions and you are full of uncertainty about who you are in this awakening process, and who have you been until that awakening moment. That really choosing someone that resonates with you from your heart and from your soul is so important. This is about you connecting with your true self in your own authentic way. So I can't tell you what to do. I can help you see different things of you or different aspects of you that you might not have seen before. But ultimately, I have to let go of what your choice will be. And if you choose to follow it, and you choose to take some of my experience and you apply it in your own life, that's fantastic. But if you don't, that's okay too, because it is your choice and you are free to choose whichever way suits you better. Make sense? So just something that has been coming up, and a lot of people have been asking me, what is happening? This energy feels so crazy in the world at the moment. And I feel that it's because the awakening that we've been meant to have for a while now, we've kind of been really procrastinating with it. And so I feel that at the moment, what Mother Earth is doing is she knows where we're supposed to be. Okay. She is with it, or she's with us on this journey. Okay. And so she is, through the disasters and through everything that's been happening on this planet, she is basically showing us where the ego has led us to believe that we can manage anything we want to. Okay, we can take anything and we can just do whatever we want with it. And what she's doing is she's humbling us. Okay, that's a beautiful word, actually, where I feel that every single time there is a disaster or there is a war or there is pandemic, we get humbled a little bit. It's like that little smack that we need every now and then, just to realize, maybe I thought a little bit too big. Or maybe my boots were a little bit too big for me in that moment. And that's very humbling, and it's very, I feel like it aligns us back to our soul, to who we truly are, without that needing more and be bigger. And so I feel that the energies around us at the moment as well. I mean, if you look at the planetary stuff, what's been happening, we have been kind of surrounded, if I can call it that, by eclipses, full moons, new moons, crazy retrogrades, just planets aligning themselves with each other. And it has been so intense, because in those intense moments, if something within you is not aligned completely, you will feel it. These planetary alignments are so carefully designed to really trigger that is not aligned. And it can show up differently for every single person. So it might show up differently for you that it would for your friend or your boyfriend or your partner, your wife, your parents, your children. It'll be different. But collectively, we are going through the same thing. Make sense? I also feel that the big events at the moment on this planet that we've had for the last couple of years, and I'm going to go as back as COVID, I feel that from there it's kind of been really, really escalated. All that has been happening to show us the true game of the ego at the moment on this planet. We've got certain people and certain organizations, certain operations up there, and I'm obviously not going to be using names. I don't want anyone to kind of like the AI pick up on that. It's actually been funny because since I've been posting videos, I've been growing on TikTok, and it's so hilarious that now I'm just being picked up. I post a video and like a second later it's taken out because I have what is it called? I have uh, like I have gone against the rules, and obviously I don't, but it's the rules um, that are saying you can't say certain things. And every time I appeal, the video is reinstalled again, but it's just the pain of constantly checking and actually just having the admin task of going back and asking. So it's been really interesting for me as well to see how much um, this, I don't know what the word is in English, but how much what's the word, where we are really being checked, and what is being shared is being checked and deleted and cancelled, and accounts are being deleted and people are being taken from their posts and things if they speak the truth. And that's really interesting because for as long as I can remember now, like for few decades, there's been democracy in this world, right? And democracy, true democracy, is free word, free expression. And yet, the moment you say something or you use a word that the big organizations do not like, immediately you get removed. Your video gets removed because now you are saying something that those big things do not like, and it's not feeding into their ego game. So it's just interesting to be mindful of what is happening around us. With regards to the events, I feel that we've been put through different types of events. Yeah, like I feel that COVID, going all the way back, has been all about what is my own truth, and it's been very much about individual people. Okay, and what is my truth? How do I feel about the situation? What do I think is the truth? And there was the division again, right? This ego is really, really trying to work on the duality in the last couple of decades, or the last couple of years. And this duality has really been shown during COVID, right? Where family members were standing on completely different platforms, right? One was for COVID vaccinations, one was for completely against it. And it would create this division, and then the families had to work with that, right? The married couples, the friends, the colleagues had to really work with that belief system all in themselves. Okay, so this was very individual process. There was a lot of awakening that happened. And look at that, my light at the back is just doing a little bit of a flickering, so that's interesting. It's increasing the light. Don't know why. I kind of feel like I'm now being like, under the spotlight. But yeah, I feel that a lot of people were awakened, and COVID was a massive global awakening moment. Okay, even though it was really designed to actually to do something totally different, but through that process, this awakening really happened, and it was actually beautiful to watch if you understood what was happening. And I remember those 7 years ago that for me, what was really interesting was to witness how quickly we as humans went back into the old pattern before COVID. Instant. It was the first morning when we were allowed to walk outside for an hour because supposedly that was the hour that was safe. Not sure who made the rules. Was great. Everybody was full of energy. Everybody was so happy. We were community again, which I feel that's really what COVID was showing us as well, was the need for community. Yeah. And the air was filled with this great sense of togetherness, if I can call it that. And just the morning after, second day, it only took us one day, guys. Nobody greeted. Nobody engaged anymore on the walk. Everybody was back to themselves again. And when you start noticing these things, then you can start understanding how these things that are happening at the moment on this planet have really been orchestrated just to show us where we are at, yeah, so that we can understand what we need to work on a little bit more. And, we had COVID. Every news was about COVID. Everybody was talking about COVID. And then all of a sudden, people started getting tired of it. And people started choosing to talk about different things. And the new wave, and there was constantly new waves coming up because people just got tired and they kind of were like, well, okay, fine, and then they would throw in a new wave and people would get scared a little bit again and follow the rules supposedly. And eventually, after a couple of waves, people started going, well, okay, it's just another wave now again. How many times, I'm not going to follow the rules anymore. I'm just going to do what I want to do now. And people started going to themselves for the answer. And that's really, really important in any kind of awakening moment. Okay. And they started paying less attention to COVID and all the crazy news around it. And what happened is, just like that, COVID finished and the war started. Literally, this is few days from each other, okay? And the war in Ukraine started. And maybe my video is going to be taken out after this, but anyway, I'm going to say it. I'm not very good in hiding words, so let's hope this video stays. But yeah, this conflict started, and people were terrified. And so was I at the beginning, because I didn't understand. I didn't know what was happening yet, and that was kind of a big thing where everybody started talking about third world thingy. And the panic seemed so there. And after a few weeks, things started to kind of crystallize what was happening in the background. And I started realizing that was just another show, another need for certain people in the world to have the spotlight on them, so that the spotlight takes away the light from the things that are happening here on the ground. But if people are focusing here, then they're not really going to see what is happening in here. And this is where the happens. Hey guys, not here. This is a game. This is where we get trapped if we choose to. And all our focus and energy will be on here. We're going to completely miss what is happening here. And this is the real game. Okay, so we understanding that? Yeah, this is just to draw your attention away from this. And that lasted, that fear, and that, if we want to control masses of people, what do? We need to make them scared so that they follow our rules, because then they will feel safer. Yeah. So after a few, I think that was like 2 years, that I could start to feel like people started getting tired finally. And, I had a couple of, obviously, I do kind of connect with the energies and what is happening in the world. And the very, very clear download for me has been throughout the last maybe 3-4 years, has been starting third world is not in anybody's interest, because that button, that one push, will result in a complete disaster. And the people, and this is really important, guys, okay, the people that are supposedly in power at the moment, what do they want? They want money. They want power. They want spotlight. They want easy life. They want joy. They want, but that joy, like drinking, spending money, whatever. They want to play. They do not want to do the deeper work. And so for them to destroy this world in a third world. It makes no sense. None of these people will ever do it because that is not what they want. That will cause massive destruction. That will cause, even if I can say, that will cause the destruction of the world as we know it. And what happens after massive destruction? Things need to be rebuilt again. Things move very slowly. There is a lot of, how can I put this? Like where you don't have supplies, right? Life supplies. And so the world would look very, very different. And there is no such thing as power in that world. There is no money, there is no wealth in that world because things are being destroyed. They need to be rebuilt. And the people in the power, they do not want that. They want consumers. They want people to continuously keep buying, spending, jollying, taking drugs, taking a whole lot of different things that will keep them asleep. And so that kind of became apparent to me. So when the other wars started or the other conflicts started in the different parts of the world, I'm not going to name, but you know what I mean. I started to kind of understand that that is just the ego game. That is a game that is there only to distract from the real work of the awakening, the purging of the real things within us, okay? That we need to go through, that we need to feel, we need to release, we need to understand, we need to break, certain patterns that have been in our generations. So that's the real deep work. And that work does not include ego in it. So if I'm doing this work, I eventually, when I reach that certain level, I have to let go of my ego. Whether I want to or not, it doesn't matter. I cannot keep my ego in that game. And I'm going to actually join this with a question that I had, because I think that that might be kind of tying in with it. So how do I know if I am acting from my higher self or my ego is just wearing more spiritual mask? I love this question. Thank you very much, dear reader. So I love this question for two reasons, right? Because firstly, if you are asking yourself this kind of a question, you are very likely already over that edge of being controlled by your ego, because you can recognize it, right? And secondly, it's the plain pointing out of ego taking in any kind of mask it can to lure you into its game under a false pretense. And that's exactly my point from the beginning of the video today, is where I feel that the spirituality these days and the esoteric and the awakening and the being, connected and all of that, I feel that so much of it has been touching the ego, where people hide behind it and they say, well, I'm doing this practice and I'm doing this practice and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and this is what I do in the morning before I start my day, and I have full 2 hours of doing this and this and that. And then they walk into the world and the energy is completely off, and they're not mindful of what they're doing, and they're not mindful of where they at and where people around them are in every moment. But because I do all the practices, I am spiritual, right? So there is the danger here that the ego can really, really play with you here. And I think the important part here is you'll know. It's as simple as that. You'll know. because when you are awakened and when you have kind of reached a certain level of self-awareness, you will start to understand the difference between the truth and the ego trying to make you believe the truth. And it comes in the slightest, it's like a nagging feeling inside. I'm trying to go into it so then I can describe it as well as possible. And I feel that it'll feel different slightly to every one of you. So maybe don't take this like the thing. But I feel like for me, it's this like a very quiet voice. It doesn't need to scream. There is no drama. It just tells me. And then I know. And sometimes I don't listen, right? I mean, sometimes I go, I know. And sometimes I even acknowledge that that is the truth and I go the opposite direction. And obviously when I'm in there and I can see the turmoil and everything is coming up for me and I'm finding myself in the midst of these things, I then kind of understand why I needed to turn away from the truth and go that direction, because that direction brought me all this turmoil that I now need to process. And this is interesting because this is coming into another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. So, and that is the chaos that we've been feeling at the moment. And I feel that it is this chaos that helps us to kind of offload and go through and really release things that we no longer are meant to be following on this journey, okay? Or carrying with us. Maybe not following, maybe carrying is a better word. And I feel like sometimes we need it where it comes at us, all of it comes at once. And we feel, you know, the saying, it doesn't rain, it pours. When like something goes wrong, everything goes wrong. And I feel that that is exactly what happens during chaos. And this is amazing because I had somebody posted, I don't know who it was, but somebody asked the question like, oh no, I did actually. Well, funny, look at that, right? In my video on Monday, I think it was, where I said, if you had to describe what has been happening for you and how you've been feeling in the last couple of weeks, what one word would you use? And I put chaos. Oh, look at that. We've got the light again coming up. I don't know what's happening with it. And I had chaos coming up for me, and I put it out and I was like, I feel like it's chaos. And that's exactly what I'm talking about now, right? It's this chaos that we find ourselves in is the very essence that we need for our awakening. Without that chaos, we still kind of feeling comfortable. And even though there is discomfort here and there, and, you know, there's a little bit of ache here, and there's a little bit of like frustration here, but we kind of like, okay, we are so adaptable, guys. As human beings, we can get into so much of shit and we will not do anything to change it until we feel chaos internally. And only when we feel this chaos, this turmoil, we start acting, we start asking the questions, we start digging deeper. We're not happy with just any answer. And that is the true awakening, guys. So I feel that kind of opened up what we're gonna talk about today. I mean, like really, I've only done one question and it's already been 40 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. Please just let me know if this is resonating for you. And what doesn't resonate with you, just release it, guys. It's not yours. It's not for you. And what I'm saying, not everything might resonate with you, and that's okay. We are all on different levels, and I'm not saying that I'm on higher level than you. On different level than you. So what I say might resonate with some of you, and with some of you it might not. And remember that these videos are energetic exchanges. Yeah. So if this is resonating what I'm saying, then claim it for you. put a comment, send a heart. If you don't want to comment on it, then send a heart to claim the energy that I am sending through these videos. And if this is resonating for you and you would like to see more videos, then let me know, comment, and if you would like to support me and the work that I do, then please do. I think there is some stars that work, on Facebook. I'm not sure how it works through other platforms, but even supporting me emotionally, saying, hey, well done, this resonated, this really spoke to me, or this didn't, and I have different point of view. All of that comes to me as support. Okay, so thank you for that. So I just want to now go into the very first question that I put for today's video, because I feel that kind of ties with what we've been talking about the ego game and where we find ourselves at the moment. So the question is from a beautiful person that didn't want to be named. So I don't use names for any of the questions, but this question is, how do I stay rooted in my truth while still engaging in a world that often feels misaligned? I think that's a beautiful question. Thank you for it. This question is so important because it's bringing up certain points, right? That the fact that we need to be rooted in ourselves while engaging in the world that feels completely like out of balance, okay? And if I want to stay true to myself, that I need to make sure that I keep my balance in check. Because the moment I'm not balanced, I'm very likely somewhere along the line, I'm going to get tagged into the drama. I'm going to tag into the ego game. And I might start engaging. I might start engaging in discussions. I might start following a news. I might start feeling sorry for people going through tragic moments in this world. And that already is taking me and bringing me into the very center of the ego game. So in order for us to stay rooted and stay balanced, I think the checking with yourself is really important here. That's coming up very, very strongly. And, so I used to, when I started this journey, I did meditations, I did my energy awakening, I did visualizations, I listened to music, I did all the things, and eventually after a while I became so overwhelmed because it started feeling like entrapment, where unless I was quiet with closed eyes, I wasn't able, or I wasn't supposed to be able to connect with myself, my feelings, what was coming up for me, unless I was doing certain meditations. I wasn't able to awaken my energy within me. If I wasn't listening to calm music, I wouldn't feel aligned and calm and in harmony. And everything just became very conditional, right? I can only be mindful if I'm meditating every day. And so I started to realize that all of that felt kind of heavy. It felt like I was imprisoned by the practices, the many different practices that I was doing. And I slowly started kind of letting go, and eventually I stopped doing anything other than being. I'm going to say that again. I stopped doing any practices, but being. That's all you have to do, guys. That is all that is required of you, is to be. In that moment, be fully present. Be fully present with yourself, what is happening for you, what is happening here, what is happening around you, what you might be picking up from other people, what is happening for them, how are they responding to the situation. That's all you have to do. And that, for me, is true mindfulness. That is the true awareness. And when you continuously connecting with yourself throughout the day, all the time, every second of every day, I am fully connected with myself. I don't lose it anymore. And when I am angry and I lash out, I'm doing it mindfully. Okay, I'm choosing the words that I use. I'm choosing the level of shouting that I feel appropriate for that situation. I'm no longer reacting to situations with like red mask in front of me, if that makes sense. And I feel that that is the very essence if you want to stay rooted through everything that has been happening at the moment on the planet. You have absolutely no way of changing this world, changing what is happening. You have no way of aligning the world and the situation and the people around you to match your energy. There is no ways that you can do that, guys. Okay, we do not have that much power as individuals. Your only power is to be present with yourself and to understand you, who you are in each moment, without a judgment. I'm not talking about judging. I'm not talking about assessing, okay, I did that right, I did that wrong, oh my gosh, I need to improve this, and if I did that, then it would result in that. None of that. All of that goes. I'm talking about just being. I don't need to be anything else. I don't need to be in any other way other than just being true in this moment to who I am. And I find that how this is helping me the most is everything else does this. I feel like it's coming at me, but then it goes over me. Yeah. And I feel that that's been really, really important for me and very helpful in the last few weeks, because I feel that I've had few patterns, old patterns that have been coming up for me since about September last year. And these were really, really hectic patterns. And I'm going to speak about this in another video. But I feel that being mindful every single time, I was able to recognize these patterns much faster because I wasn't succumbed to chaos. I wasn't in the drama. I was outside of it. So I could pick it up very quickly. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is happening again. And I'm feeling it. You feel all the emotions, right? Because the ego is so desperate to bring you back into that old pattern, to bring you back into that drama. So the emotions, I find that the more I work with them, the more intense the emotions feel. And so when you understand it and you kind of feel it, then you no longer have to, like, I feel like you no longer have to engage in it because you recognize that this is the old pattern that I've been dealing with. And okay, not for me anymore, thank you very much. And the emotions level up very quickly. They align back to your truth very quickly. Does it make sense? So to answer this question in a very short way, how do I stay rooted in my truth while still engaging in the world that feels misaligned? Staying present with yourself every moment of every day will not allow you to get dragged into the world's affair. You will no longer be part of the ego games that we are experiencing on this planet at the moment. And for me, that's all there is being true to who you are. That's what I feel is so important. Makes sense? Let me know, guys. I feel that I'm gonna stop the video here and do another recording on the other questions. But if anything during this video came up for you, if anything that I spoke of, if you would like to know more, when I'm doing these videos, I tend to kind of go here and there and everywhere because I have a lot of information that is being downloaded to me as I speak. So sometimes I'm speaking to you, another thought comes as to what I need to do next, and then another idea comes, and then it's just like these downloads that keep coming, and I sometimes get lost in it. So if you feel that sometimes I cut and I go and I move onto a different topic completely, or I kind of talk in a little bit of a puzzle way, then please note that this is not intentional, and I'm definitely not trying to mess with your mind. I am just so sometimes overwhelmed with the amount of information that is coming at me. So, and there's so many things that I want to talk about, that I want to share with you. So I hope that you enjoyed it today, that it was insightful to you in some ways. And if there is anything that that you would like me to open a little bit more, or if there is anything new that you would like me to speak about, please let me know in the comments below. And I so look forward to reading every one of your comments, because that's what I absolutely love. I love engaging with you, and these videos I'm doing these videos for that, for the engagement, to get the community going, okay? So I hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you for spending this time with me. Allow what I've said to move through you. You don't need to be okay with it. You don't need to judge it in any way. Just kind of allow it to move through you, and see what comes up for you. Take care. Thank you so much.